It's Luke and Naomi.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, maybe. If you listened really late, that'd be fine too, I suppose.
I mean, whatever floats your boat.
Happy episode 37.
37.
Yeah,
All right. Just
yes.
moving along.
The podcast, like me, pushing 40.
That's right.
Yeah.
Getting there.
So, if we time this out right, we could do the 40th episode and my 40th episode
At the same time.
right around the same time.
That would be kind of cool.
We'll see how that shakes out. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Luke and Naomi On Air, episode 37. Thank you for being here for another installment.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if you're new, you've had a chance to catch up to a couple. If you are a repeat listener, we got a good one today. Finally getting to Top Gun with Naomi.
That's right. Finally.
Finally getting, and it's the first time I've watched it in a while, too, so it was a lot of fun.
I know a lot of people are probably like, I cannot believe that it has taken you this long to watch Top Gun.
Top Gun is a great one for when we explain the podcast to folks and what we do and, Under a Rock reviews. For instance, Top Gun.
Yeah.
She's never seen Top Gun. No, exactly. That's why we, do all this. And then we throw Ghostbusters out there and get the hell out of here.
That's the one I always go to when I'm talking to people about the
It's a good one.
podcast. And I say, I review movies. And they're like, oh, okay, because who cares if you review movies? And then I go, I review movies that everyone has already seen before, You can have my take on a movie that you've seen 20 years ago.
Yeah, first timer's take. It's a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying these. So Top Gun review coming up, Under a Rock review coming up.
Yep.
Looking forward to that. I really am because, if you don't know, I've said it before, but if you don't know, I don't ask Naomi anything after we watch these.
Nope. We sit there, we watch the movie. I've got the remote. I hit pause whenever I need to jot something down real quick. Nope, we don't discuss it at all.
Nope, I wait until now, so then I get to find out what her takes are, what her thoughts are, what she bumped up into, bumped up against with them being older movies. She's making some real interesting faces right now, so we'll see what happens with Top Gun from 1980, whatever it was.
Yeah,
looking
80s.
forward to that.
There's no doubt it was from the 80s. Let me just say that.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. I really can't wait to talk about the volleyball scene. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
we're getting ahead of ourselves. We are really, really, really excited because we are now less than 30 days out from our first ever cruise.
Yeah, things are getting real now.
Yeah, very real. It's time to buckle down and make some decisions on what kind of frivolous, vacation-y, touristy things we want to get done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have no idea. I can't decide.
And I'm still. So when we first mentioned that we booked a cruise, it was the excitement of, oh my gosh, a cruise. We know nothing about cruise ships or how anything works or anything. So now we've educated ourselves a little bit, but we still don't know what the heck we're getting ourselves into.
I would say as much as you probably can for a first timer having never ever done it. We found probably all of the first timer tips that we most likely can. I mean, if you think you might have a first timer cruise tip for us, please send it right to the Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Luke and Naomi On Air.
We're taking all the advice we can get at this point.
But yeah, so we've almost exhausted that kind of information. And
now it's becoming repeats on Facebook and Twitter and all those other articles and things where it's just like, hey, the 13 things you have to bring with you on your carry-on on your first cruise. And
that's right.
Don't make these 10 mistakes.
Bring the bathing suit with the carry-on
and some sunscreen.
And, all medications. I've heard that phrase so many times over the last couple of weeks. It's so funny. So we've got that. Now we really have to just kind of immerse ourselves in the void of not knowing, and we kind of have to accept that fact.
And it's kind of like, there are options for us to do some planning, like if we want to do specific things on the ship, but we're going with a decently big group. Well, we're not going with them. We will meet them on the ship.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, do we, save out all of our time to hang out with this big group? Are we going to meet up with them for some activities and kind of go do our own thing? And it's a lot.
It really is. Shout out to Cruising with Polly, by the way, Big Frog 104. If you're in central New York, that's where we're doing this with. So
yeah, absolutely.
Not only is it, a big group and all that, but it's friends and exactly what Naomi just said. Do we, whatever. Do we go everything with them? Do we something? I don't know. So, then you got to break it down even more. Is it swimming with dolphins? Is it swimming with pigs? Is it, a sunset cruise or whatever with the open bar?
Do we just say, stay on the ship and drink for free? I mean,
There's
that's
that,
a great
too.
option right
Paid for
there.
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely paid for it. So anyway, that is what has really been going on in the house. I mean, we're doing all kinds of other adult things along the way, but
taxes and
I wasn't
all that
going to
other
mention.
stuff.
I wasn't going to mention that part, but
Looking into our health insurance. Like, we are trying to be adults. It is not fun.
all kinds of real
Man,
stuff.
It is not fun.
Occasionally, it's when we can cross one of those off the list. Like, hey, all right, that's
We
behind
did
us. And,
that.
congratulations.
Look
and
at us
shake hands.
adulting.
Now let's
Yeah.
have a drink to celebrate or something like that.
Yeah.
But still kind of boring.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Being an adult is boring. It's overrated.
For real. Let's go on a cruise instead.
That's right. Run away from our problems there.
Yeah, so that's, we're really excited about that and been dealing with a lot of that stuff. And Naomi got another one of her Christmas presents in the mail, the Universal Yums box.
That's right. So, actually, we got this box when we were sick. So, I kind of put it on hold for a couple of weeks because I wanted to be 100%. I wanted to be able to completely immerse myself in this delicious treat box that we get. And if you are new and haven't heard about it, Universal Yums, it's a subscription box. We get one each month, and it's got between like 5 and 8 treats in it from a different country. And this month it was Austria.
It's such a neat idea too. I don't know where you found it, but it's a good idea. It's been
Phenomenal
a lot of
idea.
fun.
Yeah. This one's from Austria, so I knew it was going to be, chocolate central here.
Yeah.
It was actually chocolate and wafer central.
A lot of wafer.
Which I'm okay with. I like the wafer, so I'm fine with it.
I mean, there's not much to it, so you can't really hate on it.
No. I don't think I know anybody who hates on the wafer.
But
I don't think you can.
Spoiler alert, all of the chocolate parts were good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Super good.
Yes. So actually, we did that the other day and put a video together. And you'll be able to find that on our TikTok, Luke and Naomi. On air?
On air. It's
Yeah,
all
I
Luke and
figured it's
Naomi
all
on air.
Luke and
Also,
Naomi on air.
I'll probably eventually put it on Facebook, but not Facebook Reels, as we all found out together. They limit you to about 90 seconds.
Oh, yeah, that video's longer than that.
So the burger box video, that's what I'm talking about. That one got cut off. So, but anyway.
So, and the good thing with the Universal Yums box video that we did, Luke made a great point that, hey, instead of you watching us eat this food, because nobody likes to watch other people
No, that's
eat,
just weird.
we kind of show you what the food is and tell you about it because we have already tried it. We got into it first and then decided to talk about it.
Just for you, we ate
Yeah.
snacks first. And
That's
then,
right.
And then try,
Instead of trying to
we didn't wait at all.
talk through it all, oh yeah, this is really good.
Hold on, there's so much
This is
chocolate in my teeth,
chocolate.
that would have been
Yeah.
terrible. So we didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, check out the video on our TikTok, Luke and Naomi
On air.
And I will put that up on Facebook, and I will put our homework up on Facebook this week as well. I know I forgot last week. I tried to pass it off to Brando when he asked, as if, no, we did it on purpose. Just look for it on the Facebook.
Oh yeah, okay.
I did put it up on Facebook eventually. We didn't mention it on the show.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So all of that,
Oh, look at us go.
for real,
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Just like we always say, seat of our pants. We're flying by the seat of our
That's
pants
right.
for this. So we'll get this week's homework up there too, but you can check
We'll
out the
see.
video as well. TikTok, you're going to have to look for that one. But it should be the latest video on our TikTok. So
I wasn't planning on making another one right now.
somewhat easy. Yeah,
Yeah.
me either. No plans. Lazy as can be. All right, that's it. That's about what's been going on for us.
Yeah,
Cruise and Universal Yums.
that's right.
Loving it. So that brings us right to random facts. Got a couple and a little bonus one for you. I think you might find interesting. So let's get to it. Your weekly dose of Did You Know? Did you know? This one is disgusting. Okay.
Okay. Thank you
I
for
actually-
warning me.
I actually read this on the air on the actual radio today, and afterwards was just like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Did you know in the 1800s in Austria? Speaking of Austria.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know it. This one doesn't have to do with chocolate, but
Okay.
anyway, didn't do this on purpose either. In the 1800s in Austria, single women would put an apple slice in their armpit during dances.
Make him smell good?
At the end of the night, I wish that's where this was going.
Oh,
I
I don't
really
like
do.
where this is going already.
At the end of the night, when it was inevitably gross, they would give it to the guy they liked. If the dude was into the girl, he would eat it.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Austria, what you doing over there?
They make far better chocolate than apples.
Oh, gosh. I'm glad nothing was like apple flavored in there because I would probably get sick now.
Oh, yeah, at this
Yeah.
point, right? Oh, my God, that's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I probably shouldn't have read that on the air today. I don't know. I did. But I had to share it. I couldn't
yeah.
be alone
You
with
know?
that knowledge.
You know the fact. Now you want to pass it along. All you're trying to do is make people smarter.
At some
I see
point,
nothing
though,
wrong with that.
With ones like that, it's misery loves company, honestly. I just can't be the only one.
All right.
Did you know the longest game in professional baseball history lasted 33 innings?
That's awful. I would have just called it at some point. Been like, nope. It's a wash, guys.
Listen,
I don't
I'm
know what to
done
tell
here.
you.
So you would think 33 innings, longest baseball game in history, and baseball being so old, you'd probably think that's like a 1930s game or some
Yeah,
junk like
yeah.
that. That happened in 1981.
Ugh.
It was at a Pawtucket, Rhode Island game, 1981, McCoy Stadium. 33 innings.
Nope. I wouldn't be there.
I
See ya.
can't-
I'm out of here.
How did just the umpires not just go, I'm done here. You guys are
I
on
don't
your
even
own.
care.
Goodbye.
You both lost. How about that?
Did you ever play Chinese checkers?
It has been forever.
I never played Chinese checkers. But did you know Chinese checkers was invented in 1892 in Germany?
I knew it wasn't in China
You almost have to figure anything with the name Chinese on it was made in America.
or something else.
Because
Yeah.
of the fortune cookies and then, modern Chinese food and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Germany, 1892, Chinese checkers was invented.
All right.
Did you know John Chapman, you know who that is?
No.
Johnny Appleseed.
Okay.
John Chapman, a.k.a. Johnny Appleseed, didn't plant apple trees for people to eat the apples.
Okay.
He planted apple trees so people could make alcoholic cider.
Oh, okay. You go, guy,
Johnny's Hard Cider.
Yeah.
There you go. And finally, did you know a few scenes in the movie There's Something About Mary were filmed in Plantation, Florida? But when the city council found out what the movie was about, they said, don't put us in the credits.
That's funny.
We don't want people to know you made this here.
That's great.
It made
Most
me-
of the time, people are just like, nah, we'll take the credit. It's fine.
Yeah, for sure. Any publicity, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything that bad about there's there's a couple, but anyway. And your bonus, did you know?
All right.
The 1978 classic Life's Been Good by Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
You know that
One of my
song.
favorites.
One of your favorites. He says, my Maserati does 185. I lost my license, now I don't drive.
Yeah.
So did you know the top speed of the Maserati in 1978 was only 133.5 miles an hour? There you go. So,
Well, maybe he got his Maserati to go 185. I mean, come on, he's a celebrity.
all right.
I bet you he's got some tricked out vehicle. Absolutely.
Did you know at the time the song came out, Joe had never owned a Maserati?
All right. I'll just hide under this rock and retract my last statement there.
Oh man,
Such a good line, though.
he recently.
You know?
I know you love the song, so I had to bring this up and do it in the form of a did you know. But he recently gave a interview to Rolling Stone or something like that. He said everybody made him feel really guilty about it. Probably people in his circle or whatnot. And he said the look of sadness on their face. And eventually he bought a 1964 Mustang 5000 GT, and he said he got that up to 140.
Getting a little bit closer.
He chickened out at 140 is his exact words.
Yeah. That's
So
all right.
there you go.
Yeah.
Not true. So I guess to end it, did you know that sometimes songwriters just make stuff up to fit with rhymes?
No
Yeah.
way. That
Can't
doesn't
believe-
happen.
Can't believe people would really give him beef over that, but what are you going to do?
I really don't care. I mean, that line is still fantastic.
It's perfect, right?
Yeah, the whole
Fantastic.
song is great.
And there you
kind
go.
of listen to it now.
Your weekly dose of Did You Know? I like it.
Yeah.
Some random facts to enrich. I almost said enriching. To enrich your week. We have a AI robot story for Naomi
Why?
because it's fun.
I've been having a great day.
I want you just tense right up when we talk about this stuff.
Because I don't want to be miserable and I don't want to think about it. You know?
So the headline of this one, robots and AI. Of course, you have to throw AI in there if you're writing a headline because
Yes.
AI might take all our jobs within 10 years.
All right.
But on the
Yeah, I can see it. They can do the job I'm doing right now.
well, Spotify has just launched its own robot DJ, basically AI DJ.
Oh, yes, I've heard about that. Yeah. And I just was like, all right, well, then there's no hope for me anymore. That's a bummer.
If you're listening to the show on Spotify, which we know some of our subscribers are, I think we have around 20 Spotify people.
All right.
Just don't do the AI DJ thing, please.
Please don't do that. That's like just a slap in the face to everything we used to do and what Luke still does.
Yeah, give it negative reviews if you even can.
Yeah.
If they let you. Just spam it with negative reviews. Please. So anyway, on the plus
Now
side...
AI is going to come after us. Don't say stuff
it's
like
listen,
that.
It can scrub or crawl the internet and find all of the information at once. So I'm sure it's going to hear me saying this at some point.
Yes.
I for one welcome our robot overlords.
Me too.
So
Peace be with you and all that.
on the plus side of robots taking all our jobs, we won't have to spend our days at home doing housework. The Jetsons is coming more to fruition, and I'm happy as hell about that. I always wanted to live in a Jetson-style house, and you push all the buttons and everything happens.
Yeah.
Experts are predicting that around 39% of the time spent on housework could be automated by 2033. 10 years.
Okay.
So we're talking about getting groceries, shopping, using services, whatever that means, household cleaning, dishwashing, cooking, ironing, and folding, and laundry.
Okay. I mean, my dishwasher already does the dishes, so I've got that covered. If we had a Roomba, I agreed I'd be okay with having one of those. I guess the last thing that I really need taken care of is the grocery shopping.
So, and basically that one is probably going to be one of the first ones to become almost fully automated because now, we have delivery services and all of that.
I guess I would let a robot deliver groceries to my door and leave them at my door. That's fine.
Sure.
Sorry for anybody who works for Instacart.
And at some point, when you have the fridge, well, somebody got to drop them at the door, but
Yeah,
I guess
but
if
a
it's
robot can do that.
yeah.
That's fine.
And if you have one of these newfangled smart fridges,
Oh my gosh.
it can measure how much milk you have and order milk and eggs and bread and butter and all of that stuff for you.
Luke and I were wandering around, what was it, Home Depot, Lowe's, I don't even remember where we were
yeah.
at. And we were looking at the fancy smancy fridges that they have these days. Oh my gosh. It's just overwhelming. Like, I do not need this, smart TV computer thing in my fridge. I just need it to stay cold. That's all I need. Don't measure the milk for me. I will let you know if I need more milk and I'm going to order it. It's just weird. I don't like it.
And there it is. It's
just
weird. Waiting for it. The groceries thing can kind of already be done.
Yeah.
And that'll probably be one of the first one. The least likely stuff to be automated of things involving other living things. Childcare, of course, like escorting children outside the home. You see that in iRobot, but that would be far off. We're pretty sure. Anything basically interacting with children, even pet care, making or mending clothing, which I don't see why that would be least likely, but whatever. Caring for, adult loved ones. Then it says vehicle maintenance, gardening. But now, man, I would have the robot go fix the damn car. I don't have to go to a mechanic and pay all of that labor fees.
I get what you mean, but there's so many things that could be wrong with a car and all that. Like, that robot's got to be, well, obviously they'd be smart, but I don't know. I can see it being difficult for them to learn that.
You know how in the movie iRobot, and so if you've never seen the movie iRobot, it's all about the future and these robot helpers exist within the home.
Yeah.
And they're humanoid, so they look, and then they do all kinds of chores and stuff like that. Will Smith's character doesn't like him, and then he uncovers a weird conspiracy where the AI has gone wrong, as all the sci-fi movies do.
Because it makes sense. The robots are trying to protect humans from themselves because humans can't be trusted, which is true.
Sure.
So, Will Smith was in the right the entire time.
Sure, he was.
Had every reason
Come
to feel
find
the
out.
way that he did.
But the specific scene I'm referring to in iRobot is the scene where Will Smith's visiting his grandmother and, "Do you like the pie, honey?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's great, Grandma." She was like, "Oh, good. You can come in now." And here
And
comes
that robot
her robot
shows
helper.
up. That's awful. That was a terrible trick. That was just, nope.
So do you know where I'm going with this? this is how your life is going to go at some point. You're going to come home and be like, hey, isn't the house nice and clean?
Yeah, thanks for helping.
Oh, good. I'm glad you feel that way. You can come in now. And then the robot's going to walk down the hallway.
And I am going to grab my purse, and I'm going to be out that door so fast. Goodbye. No.
Because just
I am not
fixing
having
the
a
car.
robot that's something that's the same size as I am or bigger or whatever, stronger. No, that cannot be in the house. Again, we've discussed this before. If it smelled like a Roomba, that's fine because... What?
I just love it.
If it smelled like a Roomba, we're cool. You can step on that thing and be all right.
So eventually we could be living in the Jetsons where we have the smart houses, Rosie the robot,
Everybody's upgraded except for us. We live in a regular house, and our car is like 30 years old.
Yeah, it'd be like the house from Up, just sitting there, not evolving at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
The city and the Cloverleaf highways, just encroach around it.
Oh, yeah. And they'll be like, come on, guys, you have to. And I'm going to be like, no.
I'll be like, I'm down. But Naomi says no, so I don't know what to tell you.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Because I'll be like the Jetsons where they just raise everybody up above.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I think I'm starting to lean towards accepting our robot overlords for sure. I really am. It feels like it. It feels like it.
I'm not
I
ready
think
yet.
that's how they're going to trick me.
That's
We'll
right.
do the chores for you.
That's
okay.
exactly what it is, too.
What's your social security number? Here you go.
Yeah. Here's all my money. Here's all everything I've got. Here, take all my rights, all this, everything. You're just going to be like, nah, as long as you're doing the chores
Yeah.
for me.
Your robot user agreement just signs away all your
Yes.
everything. The robot becomes you, and now you're in a closet hanging somewhere feeding it.
Ooh, yeah. Yep.
Sci-fi. All right, that's enough of that. How about talking about some food?
Sure. Let's switch gears
I
to
thought we
that.
would switch gears to some food. Brooklyn's Van Leeuwen, I don't know how to say it correctly, ice cream.
Oh, they did the mac and cheese ice cream.
The people behind
I
the
know
mac and
who
cheese
they
ice
are.
cream.
Yes,
So
I do.
They have teamed up with the Idaho Potato Commission,
Oh, come on.
the people behind potatoes. They have a new combination. Limited
French
edition.
fries?
Of course, it's called Malted Milkshake and Fries. Think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, right? It sounds, if you mix up fries in a milkshake, fries in a Frosty, it's kind of a thing.
Yeah. I've never been a fan of dipping the fries in the Frosty or dipping the fries in the milkshake.
No?
It's got merit, but it's, I like to keep them separate.
I do too. It has merit. They do taste good. I'm not a milkshake dipper.
Yeah.
But they are delicious.
Yeah.
Now, when we were in New Mexico, we did a show where it was strange food combinations that are actually really good, something along those lines. And we got suggested the potato chips with ice cream.
Oh, yeah, that was really good.
And it was really good.
Yeah.
And I believe that the suggestion was to actually mix them together.
Yeah.
And not just, eat one and then the other, but mix them together.
Yeah.
That's what this is. It is basically a milkshake flavored ice cream, which is what? Chocolate, strawberry, vanilla.
Yeah.
And then they use actual Idaho potato flakes to make French fry pieces in the ice cream.
Okay.
So, it's frozen, so they shouldn't be mushy like a undercooked French fry. It should be
Yeah. Yeah.
should be almost potato chip like. This is just crazy because it's one of the first goofy concoctions like this that I'm here for.
Yeah. Now that you put it that way, absolutely. Before I was like, nah, I'll keep it separate. I don't need to. But when we had ice cream with potato chips, it was so stupid good.
It really was.
Thinking about it, I want that right now.
That creamy ice cream sweetness with
a crunch.
the crunchy
Yeah.
saltiness. It was
So
just stupid good.
So here's the thing. You gotta have that crunch still. Like, those fry pieces in there need to be crunchy.
They need to be crunchy. They're probably not going to be crunchy.
If it's not, it's probably still going to be good. But, man, that crunch is what really made ice cream and potato chips so good together.
I'm sure it'll be plenty salty enough so you get
gotta have
almost
that,
the
yeah.
exact same experience. So they say the flavor gives it old school diner vibes, which is
Okay,
cool too. It's the malted milkshake and all that. Here's where you won't like it. Pints are $12. So what, $2 or $3 more than regular?
Yeah.
Pretty much at this
That's
point.
fine. If you
12
want to
bucks.
try it, then just do it.
This just launched last Thursday. So what, February 23rd. And they're available online, and if you're in New York City or LA, while supplies last. So if you really want one, you better get to the internet, like right now.
Yeah. Have it shipped to you.
Malted milkshake and fries ice cream.
I've come around. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Not here for a lot of the crazy ones myself, but this one I like.
I will like the mac and cheese one. If that was in my hand, somebody was like, "Here, try this." Absolutely. Am I willing to spend the money on it? Probably not.
Especially when it's $12.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But if somebody else has it and, hey, take a bite of this. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Don't
for
knock
sure.
it till you try it. Unless it's too expensive.
Yeah, for $12? Yeah, I'll knock it a little bit.
Yes.
A little bit. Okay, so last week we did do sort of a homework topic, but only put it on the Facebook page on Friday. So only got a couple of answers. We were talking about what screams tourist when someone visits your area.
I can't believe we didn't mention this during the show.
We totally blew right through it into our Under a Rock reviews last week. We were excited to get to the Green Mile. And
that is true.
all of that.
Yeah.
So, but we did put it up on the Facebook page. What screams tourist when someone visits your area? And I thought about it afterwards. And we're talking Roswell, the Utica, New York area, Port Huron, and Wilmington. So probably just Wilmington for us that I have ever seen a tourist. Roswell, if you had a green sticker.
I was going to say, yeah, or if it was the 4th of July and it's, UFO festival going on. Oh, yeah. 99% of people I could look at you and go, yeah, you're not from here.
That's right.
You are definitely a tourist.
And probably sunburnt and just looked about half past dehydration, too, if they were in the desert as well.
Yeah, a little bit of you can tell that you are not drinking enough water right now. You don't know. Definitely
don't know.
Definitely the sunburn because, first of all, that week it'd be like 110 anyway.
Ooh-wee.
But yeah, just the sunburn of not realizing just how bad it's getting.
And year-round, the green stickers from the UFO
absolutely.
Museum. So Brando says, if we're talking Roswell, the little green stickers, I should have just read his instead of stealing his thunder there.
Yeah.
If he says where he grew up, then it's the fact they're trying to enjoy the beach at the wrong time of the year. He says the water may look nice, but it is definitely not warm enough to swim yet. That was Idaho, right? I believe he grew up in Idaho.
Uh-huh.
Something like that. Ernest says, not a damn thing in Kermit.
That makes sense. Kermit, Texas.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah. So
Nothing.
I don't know much about what would scream tourist in Utica, especially except if you were asking for directions out of Utica, maybe something like that.
That or probably just everyone getting lost. Because I remember when
That's a great answer.
When I moved to Utica, the biggest change and the thing that I had the hardest, just the most difficult time with is I was looking for a specific street. So, I'm driving down this main drag and I'm looking for this specific street and I'm looking at all the street signs on the left. Well, the street signs on the left and the right didn't match. It was one name on one side and one name on the other. Like the road crossed over, but was not the same road.
Yep, couple
when
of
it
different
crossed.
places.
Yeah. That'll really mess you up. We were lost for 15 minutes, not realizing we drove past that road at least 100 times, just in circles.
You got a little bit more of that when you got to Wilmington, too.
That's right. But Wilmington usually, the good thing with Wilmington is it'll have a sign at, the intersection, and it'll have an arrow pointing which way. And I go, oh, so that means it's named that way, and it's named something else on the other side. That's fine. That arrow gives me a little bit of a heads up. Utica did not have those arrows. It was a surprise.
Yeah, so asking for directions up there for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely difficult.
What about Port Huron, or do you want to just maybe just move it to Detroit?
Yeah, I don't know what really screams tourist in that area. Probably if you're just not dressed for the weather, that would be the biggest thing.
What about a lot of Canadian accents? Or is that normal because a lot of people from Canada just come over and work?
Oh, yeah. They'll work or shop. When I worked at Sam's Club, oh, my goodness. Canadians came over all the time because why not shop at Sam's Club? You can get milk and bread and gas and all that stuff. Well, at the time, a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So you'd get those things and you'd go back over to Sarnia. Same with working. I worked with a few people. The main guy in our news department lived in Sarnia. came over to Port Huron to work and then would head back home every day.
So not a ton of tourists there, just kind of like Utica, too.
No.
People weren't coming to Utica to be a tourist. If anything, you're passing through.
Right.
On your way to the Adirondacks or down to the city or something like that.
Right. And Port Huron had some areas where they were trying to like revitalize and make it more of a touristy area, which they could do because it is very pretty.
It is nice, yeah,
You know,
for sure.
You're right on Lake Huron
There's
there.
some great history there, too. I've never got into it enough with the bootlegging stories.
Oh,
Because,
yeah.
I mean, being right there close to Canada, you know they were running whiskey in the dark across that river, you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Underneath the river, across the river, all of that. So
Yeah.
that would be cool, for sure.
But yeah, so not really, at least not that I can recall a lot of the touristy stuff. Again, the biggest thing I think would be not dressing for the weather. Then you'd be sticking out pretty bad there.
Yeah, for sure. Here in Wilmington, you can generally tell if somebody's either a tourist or at least new in town if they're
Yes.
just dumbstruck by the traffic. You can see just completely shell-shocked.
Yeah, if you can't handle the traffic, or if you are like darting in and out of lanes and all that, you definitely are either a tourist or very new here. Just stay in one lane.
Or just a brat.
It's gonna be slow no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've talked about it before. There was a little while there where I worked 2.5 miles from work, and it took us 15 minutes to get there every
for sure.
morning, just
Ooh-wee.
because of traffic
It's-
and getting stuck at this one light for like 5 minutes.
It's crazy. And if you're down in the, if you're down in the downtown area, the Riverwalk, you can tell people are tourists because everybody's taking pictures. There's some really cool photo op stuff like that. So that's like a glaring one.
A downtown area and towards the beach. You get to Carolina Beach. It's got that big sign that says "Welcome to Carolina Beach." You always see people standing there taking pictures.
Definitely.
If you're shocked about parking, you are definitely a tourist. Yes, I know it's $30 for the day to park. Yeah, it sucks. That's terrible. But it is what it is.
There's
if you're
always-
a tourist, you're paying those prices.
There's
if you're
always
a local,
inevitably some dad standing over one of those meters just grumbling to himself as he's trying to punch up the information on his phone after drinking too many beers at the beach that day.
Yeah. But yeah, it's $30 a day. If you're a tourist, you're grumpy, you can't stand it. If you're a local, you're going there because you're going to get a good parking spot and you can stay there all day, or you're going somewhere where you don't have to pay to park.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Some of the locals know some secrets. If you know somebody who lives down in that area, you can park and walk a couple of blocks.
Yeah.
There's also my all-time favorite. It's one of our favorite things as we're, leaving the beach for the day is we see the families who've rented the golf carts
Yes.
for the weekend or something like that. And the parents are just toasted on the back, just completely burnt from the day.
Mm-hmm.
And, the 8-year-olds driving down the street, the golf
Yep.
cart, because the parents, I don't care, just drive the damn thing and get us home because
Right.
I've had enough of this day.
I'm tired. I just want to go to bed. I need some aloe.
Yeah, we could play car bingo with those just on the way home from the beach. It's so
my
much
goodness,
fun.
Yeah. We got a lot of things that just scream tourist. But
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
our favorite ones are, again, whether it's that or if we, the golf cart thing, or we'll go out to eat in Carolina Beach or Curie Beach, and we'll just go to a restaurant, one of the open air kind of places, and you watch these people stumbling in. They're just sunburnt to all heck, and you can tell they've already had a couple of drinks.
Yeah, they're pink
and-
for two different reasons.
That's right. But it's fun because it's people on vacation. They're having
It is.
their
It's
happiest
infectious.
days. Yeah, and you get to watch them, and it's cool. I like it. I don't mind it at all, honestly.
Awesome. So there you go. There's some how you can tell what screams tourist in our areas.
That's right.
All the areas that we've lived in. So as promised, we do have the new topic for you for next week, the new homework, if you will. We want you to ruin a movie by changing one letter.
I think this is great for how much we've been talking about movies and doing these under a rock reviews. I mean, why wouldn't we start making fun of some movies too?
Yeah, and the more sense it makes with that ruined letter, all the better. Forrest
Of
Pump
course.
or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went right to Forrest Gump, but I did. Forrest Pump.
All right.
Or, Throw an H on there. Get crazy.
Oh
Who
my
knows?
gosh.
We'll see what El Weevo comes up with.
Oh,
But,
you know it's going to be great.
So ruin a movie title by changing one letter. That's what we want you to do for next week. I will post this on the Facebook page hopefully sooner than
Are
Friday.
you sure?
I'm saying hopefully because I already said I will. So I got to do at least one. So hopefully by Friday. I think that somebody just dropped something upstairs, but that's
It
all right.
sounded big
It did.
and heavy.
Hopefully, they were throwing something on the floor for the dog and not something dropped. But anyway,
I hope that picked up too. I
ruin a
hope you were
movie
able
title.
to hear what it was.
Isolate it and amplify it if
There
I
you
can.
go. Yeah.
Hopefully I can. Ruin a movie title by changing one letter, and we're looking forward to seeing all of those answers and how crazy we can get next week. And we'll read those on episode 38.
All right.
Okay, that covers all of the housekeeping and all of the other stuff. Now it's time for the fun stuff. It is time for our Under a Rock review of Top Gun.
Top Gun.
So I haven't seen Top Gun in years. I just, because you've never seen it, it's not something that I would pop on,
Yeah.
around the house or whatever, or something that we would rewatch because, you don't know, you would have to watch it all the way through and all that
Right.
stuff. So I haven't seen it in quite a while, and it was a lot of fun. I'm telling you, the fighting scenes, that aerial combat is just, it was great. I really enjoyed watching you watch Top Gun. So,
All right.
take it away.
All right. So we all know I love it when they mention the name of the movie or how that movie title gets thrown in there.
This one came a bunch of times because it's all about it.
Yeah, but it happened right away the first time. Like, it had the description.
Was it in the words?
No, it was leading up to it. So it had the description saying, that's talking about this flight school and how it's called one thing, but the pilots call it ... Top Gun.
Yeah, the words,
Then
yeah.
showed up, So it had the description. And then the next screen was Top Gun in the opening of the movie.
So does that count for you, or is that just like awesome on a whole nother level?
No, it did count, and I did smile a little bit when it happened. And I did not look at Luke because I was like, if he is making fun of me right now, I don't want to hear it.
I didn't even think about it
cool.
there. At that juncture in the movie, I didn't think about it in that one. There's a scene at the end I can't even remember already where one of them says something about Top Gun, and like
I know, and you got
I'm
all
like,
excited, and I'm like, nah, man, we're already past that.
We covered that in the opening. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
and like 3 other times during the movie.
So they hooked Naomi right away.
Oh, yeah.
With the title.
Yeah. That
love it.
I really like the cool names for everyone. You got
the call
Cougar and Maverick and Viper and Iceman and
Goose?
and Goose and I don't remember who else. There's just a whole bunch of them. But
Sure.
I like their, what did you call it?
Call signs.
Their call signs.
Yes.
Yeah. I did like that. That was cool. It made it easier for me to remember who was who as well in the movie because I'm really bad at that.
Well, also because, to your credit, this is a movie where they refer to each other by name a lot.
Yeah.
In some movies, they just don't, and you're expected to know. Like, Star Wars has always been a big thing with me. Like, Luke Skywalker, Han, and Leia, and Chewie.
Yeah.
But there's, Admiral Akbar. I had no idea who the hell that was. I don't ever remember them calling him by name until you go
Yeah.
back and you see, like, maybe once they call him that. Don't holler at me, Brando, and Star Wars fans. But, like,
I could feel that. I knew he was hollering right now. I could
he just
feel it.
put down his tools and was like, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so this is a cool because like they call each, and then it's on their helmets too. So
Yeah.
that helped.
And on the side of the planes. Saw that too.
Built for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, that's that guy. All right, I got it. So they're on that aircraft carrier. The scene opens up. They're flying around. All that. There is a lot of just flying around. Oh my goodness! While they're going upside down and twisting around and all that, I was getting like motion sickness.
Oh, yeah?
Not gonna lie. By the time we got to the end of the movie, I was like, how am I gonna make it on a cruise? Because
Wow.
like this is a lot, and this is really twisty and turny, and I don't know. I felt like I had a drink or something. I don't know.
All right.
So there's a lot of that going on, of course, but it was really exciting.
The aerial combat is I love it.
It was very exciting. It took a minute to understand what was going on, though. I will admit that. When they were yelling, you got a bogey and all of this kind of stuff, I was just kind of like, bogey? don't know what that is.
Okay.
You know, so it took a minute for me to kind of figure it out. Anyway, you know, Cougar gets rattled after those planes came by and they were kind of messing with them. They didn't do anything, but just messing with him and Maverick and all of that. That was kind of a bummer to see that happen.
Yeah,
and
he
then
was so terrified of getting shot down.
Yeah, which makes sense. I would be terrified too, you know?
Yeah.
Nobody wants that to happen. So, but it was just kind of a bummer to see him that shooken up about it. And then it, you know, comes into play later with Maverick. So, you know, we're getting in the movie a little bit, and all I'm thinking is, man, Maverick is just so full of himself, isn't he?
Yeah, for sure, I would say.
I mean, I get it that he's a good pilot or a great pilot and he knows what he's doing and all of that kind of stuff, but yeah, he's definitely full of himself. And then, you know, he was requesting to do a flyby and all that. They told him, you know, no.
Negative,
and then,
Ghostrider, the pattern is full.
And then he does it anyways. So, of course, he got into trouble over this. What did he think was going to happen?
Yeah, right.
You know? Like, oh, okay, well, I guess it was okay because it was you. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, for sure.
He's not going to get kicked out or anything like that. I knew that wasn't going to happen. Just behave, kid. You know? So then...
She scolds almost every main character, I swear.
Well, sometimes they need it.
Behave, kid.
All right. This is the part we've been waiting for, right? We get to the volleyball scene.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's about as 80s movie as you can get.
Oh,
right there.
I wanted to just make so many jokes and comments and stuff, but because of the review, and I didn't want to really influence it or anything like that, I kept my mouth shut. But the whole time I was like, oh, I cannot wait.
Yeah. I did make a comment. As we said before, I don't usually make comments or anything like that.
If it's what I'm thinking of, we both did.
Yeah. Like, why is that guy wearing jeans?
Yeah. Tom Cruise is wearing jeans.
Why are you wearing jeans while you're playing volleyball in the sand shirtless?
It's just the weirdest thing.
Like, it was stupid. And they're getting all sweaty. They made it look like their face is all sweaty and their chest are all sweaty, and you're sweating in jeans?
Yeah, that's gross.
It was very gross. It was I did not like that
Okay,
scene.
go watch Top Gun again and tell me that you're totally fine watching that. I don't know. And then look at the jeans too. They weren't like some lightweight, worn out old jeans. They looked brand new, like just this stiff sandpaper jeans too.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then on top of that, you've got the 80s music just blasting.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Good old Kenny Loggins.
It was just ridiculous. Okay. So, and then all of a sudden, he's leaving in the middle of the game. You know, throws his shirt on. He's still all sweaty. He's running late to meet Charlie, the one of the flight teachers, instructor, whatever. The girl that, you know, the love interest and all of that.
Oh yeah.
So first of all, he's running late, so terrible already. Like, come on, kid. Second of all, you are sweaty and gross. Like, that is disgusting. I'm going to go play volleyball before I go on this date.
So it's fantastic that we're both talking about this, you know, and we did comment to each other about, man, that's really kind of skeevy and all of that stuff. And what's
that
the
would be
first
the first
thing?
and last date. Just saying.
Absolutely. What's the first thing he says to her when he gets to the house, too?
He gets to her house. Her house.
It's the dumb, like, I don't get
and goes,
this at all.
I'm going to take a shower. The hell you are.
Just not can I, but he's like, I'm going to take a shower. What?
And she's like, no, I'm hungry. We're going to eat.
Also,
you know?
That's weird. It's my house.
And also, this is your first time over there. You know, this is not like you've been dating for a while and it's, you know, okay.
So, people from the 80s, if you're listening, you know, and you're going, no, that was totally acceptable in the 70s and 80s, you got to tell me, because I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I remember having people call and be like, hey, my hot water's broken. Can I use your shower?
But you ain't going to call a stranger and ask about that.
You're not showing up for your first date, dinner date, and going, hold on, let me shower.
Look, I know I'm late, but I got to take a shower.
It's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. That whole scene
I love
was just insane. But then again, like, their relationship is kind of weird to begin with. And I get it. She's an instructor and could get in trouble for all of this and all of that. But it's just...
complicated.
Yeah.
That's where Facebook got it from.
Yeah. Yeah. Complicated.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So that was a volleyball game and him showing up to somebody's house saying that he's going to take a shower first. And then, Maverick again has quite an ego on him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Because once again, he's all bent out of shape because they were in the class or whatever, and Charlie was explaining one thing, and basically instead of praising him, she just said something like he made the wrong move, but it worked out.
Yeah, it worked, but it was a bad idea, basically.
Yes, and then he got all angry about it and all this stuff, and she's like,
Butthurt is what we call it nowadays.
I was gonna say that, but I felt like, I don't know, I didn't want to be that rude about it.
Yeah, he got butthurt.
And then basically, like, she chases him while he's on his motorcycle, and then he starts yelling at her about driving all crazy, and she's like, well, I couldn't say, oh, great job,
Yeah.
People would know something's going on. Like, think about it, dude. Come on. And then they have their love scene. And then I go back to what Luke had said during the Green Mile about you can just show the outside of the window.
Yeah.
We hear some noise. We know what's going on. That's it.
I don't need to watch them lick each other's faces.
Yeah,
unnecessary. I don't get it.
I don't know.
And so I thought about it again during that scene last night and how prudish I've become with this. But it's like, think about it. If we were at somebody's house and all of a sudden they just started, very deeply kissing each other and, getting a little bit closer towards
I'd be like, I'm okay. I got to get out of here.
So why do we have to watch that in the movie? Like, that's, I get it. Close the bedroom door. Move on.
We know what happened.
Spend more time with the aerial combat because it's
There
more
you
fun to
go.
watch.
Yes, absolutely. I am here for that.
And at least there you can show the completion.
Oh my gosh. You felt so good about that, did you? Oh my god.
I'm pretty proud of that one, I gotta say.
Anyway, so we don't need that scene. We don't. We know what's going on. All right. Then I wrote down, I feel the need for speed.
Woo.
So I finally got that. I've heard that one a couple of times and been like,
Oh,
yeah,
good. Yeah, sure.
Need for speed.
Speed's fun.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Well, that's what people. Well, that's what people would say, Oh, no. From Top Gun. Oh, shoot, no. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Going back to our morning show in New Mexico, another one of the topics we did were, what were your favorite movie quotes?
And that one came up.
I remember, I think Uncle Jetpack probably dropped that one. He was a big Top Gun fan.
Oh, I'm sure he dropped that one. I'm like 99% sure. Yeah. All right, so, they're flying, they're doing their practice, all that kind of stuff. So Maverick and Goose got shot down. I thought that maybe it would humble him a little bit, maybe stop him from his ego trips and all that. Didn't seem to happen.
Yeah, a little humble pie, but he didn't eat it.
Well, the worst part about this is, like, in my notes, I'm like, well, maybe it'll humble him a bit. He needs that, all that stuff. And my next note is, oh my gosh, no, Goose. Because that's what ends up happening next.
That's what humbles him.
Well, yeah, and you don't want to see someone to be humbled that way.
Crazy scene, too.
It is. It is a very intense scene. You're in the cockpit as it's spinning out of control, and they can't eject and all of that, and then finally they're able to, and you hear Maverick tell him to watch his head, and the canopy still hits him in the head. Just way too intense, and like you see the blood on Goose, and you know right away what has happened.
Yeah, and then the whole water rescue that hammers it home, and then.
Oh yeah. And again, just can't imagine being in that situation where, you lose your friend, you were the one flying, even if there wasn't anything that you could do about it, what do? I know I'd pack up my bags and go home. I'm done. See ya. I'm never doing this again. I'm never going. Yeah. I'm never even flying on a commercial airline.
You know what I'm going to do tomorrow?
Stay on the ground.
More Top Gun school.
Yeah, and that's the part that, like, I got kind of angry about is because then they expected him to just get back to it like nothing happened. Get him in the air as fast as you can. Yeah? You don't want to let him grieve for a minute? And that guy comes in and is like, Goose is dead.
Yeah, that's Viper.
Yeah.
He very cold. I mean, I get the military and stuff, but it's not like they were at war.
No.
I mean, if that happened, I get it. You're in the middle of a war, but this is training school.
Yeah.
They should have stopped, or at least I guess in 2023, they'd probably stop the school for a couple of weeks.
At least a day or two,
Everybody else is back up in the air the next day. People
and
who knew the
nobody
guy and all
seems
that
like
stuff.
they care or anything.
It was just like, hey, well, he's gone.
Yeah.
Get over it.
All right, so Maverick, of course, goes back up in the air, and they're trying to act like nothing happened, and he doesn't take the shot, and, not surprised. He just lost his best friend. I'm pretty sure his mind is somewhere else, because that's where everyone else's mind would be, somewhere else. And then they're like, he's lost it. He can't do it anymore. Like, it's legit been like 2 days.
Yeah.
I get, again, like you said, if this is a war, yeah, you're going to have to bury that or figure out your release for that or whatever.
I bump into that every time I watch this, where it's
but
just
it's
like,
so
damn,
bad.
man, that was
Yeah.
cold.
All right, so Maverick ends up packing up his bags. Not surprised. I would probably do the same thing because that's... What do you do in a situation like that?
Completely acceptable.
Yeah, so he leaves Top Gun. He visits Viper. Viper actually tells him a little bit more about his dad. I didn't mention his dad at all. But apparently his dad was a great pilot as well. But there's, the story behind everything is kind of classified. Nobody knows if his dad made the right move or the wrong move. And no one really says anything about it. And it's just kind of like he's lived his whole life to believe that he made a bad move, a bad mistake. And Viper basically tells him that, no, your dad made the right choice. It just, how it played out is how it played out. So then Viper gives him the option, come back, graduate, walk away. Those are your two choices here. Maverick ends up showing up at graduation. The party ends quickly because they actually are called to action.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah. It's him and Iceman, and I don't even remember who else is in that group, but there's, like 4 or 5 of them that are called up. Of course, he's still shooken up about everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
No, what? Are we on day 3? Day 4 since the accident? I mean, no real time has gone by here. So anyways, they're all up in the air. There's, enemies shooting at them, all of that kind of stuff. He ends up saving Iceman, so everyone's happy. He's a hero again. He got over, he was nervous when he was up there, take the shot, and wasn't sure if he was going to do it or not. Of course he does, happy ending, all that. So he's going to go back, be an instructor at Top Gun. Charlie comes back. It's a happily ever after kind of story. Everything wrapped up all nice and pretty except for the fact that Goose died.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
That's the end.
that's the end. for you.
The end.
Goose died.
Yeah.
So
Well, everything else. They tied it all up nice and pretty and all that. But Goose died. So, that wasn't the happiest ending.
right, so semi-happy ending.
Yeah.
All right. Is that the end of your notes then?
That is the end of my notes.
All right. Well, are you ready for your review questions?
Yeah.
If you're new around here, Naomi goes through her Under a Rock review, everything from her point of view and all that, and then I've developed these we've developed these questions to ask her afterwards that kind of cover some angles and might uncover some other thoughts from the movie. So here we go. First and foremost, Top Gun. Did you like it?
I did like it. For an action-packed kind of movie like that, I did like it a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
What did you know about Top Gun before you watched it?
It was about airplanes and Tom Cruise was in it.
It was about airplanes and Tom
and
Cruise
Talk
was
to
in
Me
it.
Goose. Because I've seen that on so many shirts and just everywhere. Talk to Me Goose. And I'm like, that's going to come up somewhere in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, now it makes sense why everyone goes, talk to me, Goose.
Your thoughts going into Top Gun?
So again, knew it was, military, a flight movie, all that. So Honestly, I felt like I was going to get a little lost in it. I knew there was going to be some things I didn't understand, but was surprised to find out that it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like I wasn't going to be able to understand that as I was watching the movie.
Right, it wasn't super heavy on jargon or anything like that.
Yeah. There was a few things that I was like, I don't know what they're talking about, but then you figured it out,
Yeah. Okay, great. What surprised you about Top Gun?
I was surprised how much I liked it. I was surprised to just all the like in the air scenes, how well they were done. I mean, this is the 80s. I'm thinking about Ghostbusters and their special effects and how just a little off that was. So I assumed this was going to be a little cheesy when they did a lot of the flight scenes. And it wasn't.
Very well choreographed and all of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, watching sometimes when they, like put you in the view of the plane and it's spinning and, going upside down and all that, like I felt that. I felt that in my stomach.
So they did, I don't know the extent, but obviously the Navy was involved in some things like that.
Yeah,
so,
I saw that in the credits. The special thanks to
I don't know how much of all of the choreography they did, but I'm sure it was a ton and all of that. And I don't know if it was like the first time that they had ever worked with Hollywood, the Navy specifically, but it's something like up there.
Yeah.
And then I do know that, of course, enrollment in the Navy to join fighter pilot school and try to get into Top Gun jumped like 100% in the year or two after that movie
They
came
made
out.
it really cool.
All right. So what would you have liked it more or less if you saw it when you were younger?
That's a tough one. I feel like I would probably actually like it more.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the 80s stuff, the music, the I don't know, just again, the things that I bumped into, I feel like wouldn't have been such a big deal if I saw this movie 10 years ago compared to seeing it now, where again I'm yelling at Maverick to, take a shower before you show up for a date. What the heck's the matter with you?
Plan out your day better.
Well, for real. It's disgusting. Come on, man. And then like his ego. Like I get that he was supposed to have an ego and they were showing that, but some of it was just so much where I'm like, it made it a little bit harder to connect with him because it's just like you're coming off as a jackass,
I mean,
so
for real.
it makes me hard to feel bad for you or, to share in your triumph and all of that. Compared to, again, if I saw this 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't be so hard on him. I'm just getting old and cranky.
All right. So probably liked it a little bit more when you were younger.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of Top Gun? Your first ever watch of Top Gun?
I think just honestly, like just the aerial fighting scenes. It was just, they were so intense. You couldn't look away from the screen. And there was a lot of them without being too much of them.
Yeah.
Which I mentioned when we watched Terminator 2, that I felt like the chase scenes just lasted forever. It's like, okay, like just catch the guy or let him go at this point. Like we've been doing this for 40 minutes right now.
All right.
With this, it was like the perfect balance. It was like, oh, cool. Okay, I feel that in my stomach. Hopefully we'll go to the ground soon. All right, we did. Whew. All right. Back up. Okay, I'm ready.
What was your least favorite part?
Goose dying, of course.
Goose
that was
dying,
awful.
of
That
course.
was just such a horrible scene.
It just was. And the way, yeah.
Yeah. And then, again, Maverick just being a jerk. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Would you recommend Top Gun to someone else who hasn't seen it?
Yeah, I believe Top Gun is definitely one of those movies that everyone should see.
All right. So does this rank up there in your in your first ever watches then, or is it just one of those you think everybody should see?
It's middle to top. So upper middle.
All right, cool. Upper middle. I like
Yeah.
it. Would you watch it again?
Yeah, if it's on, yeah.
So you would stop and watch it if it's on TV?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Are you happy you watched it?
Of course.
And because it just came out, are you down to watch Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah. I'd be interested to see where they take the second one,
I do believe it's him as the flight
Teaching?
instructor.
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about it because I've kept away from spoilers and stuff. But I do believe it involves him doing the flight instructor thing or something like that. And I don't think Charlie's in it. Maybe the character is, but I know it's not, and I am blanking on her name right now, so we'll move right along. But, okay, cool. So we'll watch Top Gun Maverick at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll drop that review, too, because it feels like everybody has seen Top Gun Maverick.
Well, I mean, there was such a draw for this movie. I mean, I heard just so much chatter about it. And most of the time, I'm not watching these movies, so I'm like, ugh, I don't care one way or the other.
Right.
But to hear so many people go, oh, Top Gun 2 is coming out, Top Gun Maverick, and just so many people so excited to watch this made me go, well, maybe we should too.
All right. So that is our Under a Rock review, or Naomi's Under a Rock, Under a Rock review of Top Gun.
Yeah.
The OG Top Gun.
Oh, yeah. We'll see what happens next week.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your review of Top Gun. Loved it.
Yeah.
Definitely like this one. Getting better and better every week. And, really, though, the reason we're doing this is to hear your thoughts, somebody's thoughts who's never seen these movies, watching them in 2023. And it is super entertaining. I love it. It's fantastic.
Well, it's different if you grew up watching these movies. You have a different feel for them than somebody who has seen them for the first time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So definitely enjoying that for sure. Stay tuned for next week. We don't know what we're going to be reviewing, so you'll find out when we do.
Yeah. All right, it's time for Thought of the Day.
Thought of the day, thought of the day. It's your thought of the day, thought of the day.
A flickering, half-illuminated sign attracts more attention than a fully lit one.
Wow.
Just saying.
Wow. Yeah. Mind equals blown.
That's right. Luke, are you going to leave us with a laugh?
I am going to do my best. Did you hear that new song that costs only 45 cents?
No.
It's 50 Cent featuring Nickelback.
Oh, come on. That's terrible.
It really is, isn't it?
It is. It's like the worst dad joke ever.
Rick Astley will let you borrow any DVD from his Pixar collection, but he's never going to give you up.
Oh, come on. Should have seen that one coming.
All right, two more. Dad advice. Never buy anything with Velcro. It's a total ripoff. And finally, Naomi says that I never listen, which is a funny way to start a conversation if you ask me.
That's exactly correct. Exactly.
I love it. Thank you to Brian in England for the book, The 100 Greatest Dad Jokes of All Time. Appreciate it. We love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I love it. Funny way to start a conversation, if you ask me. Twice a day.
Just shaking my head at you.
Thank y'all so much for spending another hour with us. We definitely appreciate the love. Tell everybody you know to check us out, see what it's like to rewatch movies through the eyes of somebody who's never seen them.
That's right.
You can find us, of course, everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, eventually Amazon. Check out the TikTok page for Naomi's, or both of our review of the Universal Yums box snacks from Austria this month. And don't forget to check out the Facebook page for Your Homework Ruined a Movie Title by Changing One Letter.
That's right.
All right, that's episode 37. We will see you next week. Have some fun this week and be excellent to each other.
Love you. Bye.